I wanted to make this video as soon as I got it. I just been a little busy all week, and this story is kind of moving fast. But I remember I made a video a while ago about Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway being targeted allegedly for UFC 306, and now it's becoming more and more likely, and a lot of people are talking about it right now. And I just remember, I remember back in the day, when I made that video, I think it was last month or something like that, a lot of people were saying, has it even been announced? But apparently, according to some Facebook posts, Joe Rogan had posted it on his story, and then it got swept under. I don't know about the legitimacy of that, but I also wanted to use that to just kind of explain something real quick, that MMA stories move so fast in this realm, especially in the realm of MMA journalism in this realm, that, as I'm making this video, there's going to be story developments about this particular fight. Just you watch, because I remember I even checked for any last-minute articles, and then when I Googled Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, I even saw one that said that Ilia Topuria is out and Max is looking for another opponent. I don't know how authentic that is. We'll wait to see until we get the final card, or we'll wait to see anything like that. I'm just saying that I've gotten some comments where people accused me of clickbaiting or something like that. I've never intentionally clickbaited. I've made videos based on X posts that I've seen and just articles that I've read. Just continuing the disclaimer that all this is just me doing journalism in real time. There might be things that we miss in time. Developments are coming out. Stories are always coming out. But in this case, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, let's say that one article, and that's why I'm not taking it for anything more than a grain of salt. It was one article that said Ilia was out. I'm pretty sure that might have been clickbait itself. So until it just gets finally announced by the UFC, which could be tonight or tomorrow, I would have to say that Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway is looking more likely. And it is the fight to make. And without a doubt, we're going to see this collision in the future, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Is it going to happen at UFC 306? Pretty likely, but if, let's say Ilia gets injured, what apparently happened, we are probably going to see it pushed back to 307 or 308 or something like that. We're going to see it probably by the end of this year. And it is definitely a matchup that I feel like, in my opinion, is way too close to call, because one, Max Holloway coming off of Justin Gaethje, obviously he shocked the world, and when someone shocks the world once, we're willing to see them shock the world again, because even Ilia Topuria, no one really saw him beating Volkanovski, aside from the damage he took from the Islam fight. I think a lot of the people who were in Volkanovski's corner were kind of just counting Ilia out. When I was thinking, maybe I'm going to give Ilia a shot on this one, because I'm seeing who he's blasting through. And yeah, his one win in the top was against Josh Emmett, who literally is that perfect top 5 gatekeeper spot for anyone who wants to break into the top. Because look what he just did to Bryce Mitchell, Josh Emmett. And, it kind of just showed that Josh Emmett is still a test in featherweight. Is he ever going to touch that belt? Most likely not, but he is a guy that's going to separate the cream from the crop, or whatever you want to say it, the wheat from the chaff, the men from the boys. And Ilia Topuria fought that really smart. He took his time over the 5 rounds. He knew Josh Emmett's power, and he wasn't going to rush in recklessly and get caught with something. He fought the perfect fight for 25 minutes, but it really was people were has he fought Ortega yet? Has he fought Yair yet? Has he fought any of these guys yet? But then he fights Volkanovski, and it just takes one thing. A lot of people thought that Jose Aldo was going to destroy Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor shocks the world. All I'm saying is, we don't know where these go. Sometimes there's resurgences, which would be Max Holloway's side, but then sometimes we still want to believe that Ilia Topuria is not as good as he really is, and he might actually take it. So am I going to make an early prediction on this fight? No. You know why? Because there's a lot of people who have already thrown their hat out, and they're very one-sided, and they're saying, okay, well, the blessed fanboys are delusional. No, I don't think the blessed fanboys are delusional at all, because if you look at Max Holloway's career, he has come back from fights where he should have been permanently damaged. The Justin Gaethje fight is probably the tall tale sign that he really did fully recover from that third Volkanovski fight. Because after that third Volkanovski fight, I was thinking, what if Holloway doesn't come back the same and Arnold Allen uses Holloway as a stepping stone? Holloway proved me wrong there. Then he fought Korean Zombie. Obviously, he's going to win that one, but he kept coming back, and he's obviously been just on a relentless tear against all these top guys. And then against Justin Gaethje, of all people. Wow. But then we have Ilia, who has just continued to shock us. He's undefeated. No one's beaten him yet. And honestly, I think he is on the fast track to being the featherweight GOAT if he continues this stuff up. Because I know that he says he wants to retire sooner rather than later just because he understands he's on a biological clock. However, I feel like I see more in Ilia than a lot of people do at this point. I know he's talking a lot, but when he talks, he backs it up. He put the featherweight champion on his status before he even got the belt. So I see a guy who's young, knows his abilities, knows how good he is, and he's not afraid to manifest what he wants put in front of him, and he's doing that perfectly. But I will say, if there's one person who will shut Ilia's game down, it is going to be Max Holloway. If there's one person who is going to stop this hype train while it's going, it is going to be Max Holloway. So this is a destined matchup that's going to happen. Obviously, Holloway lost, I would say, 2 fights to Volkanovski. That second fight against Volkanovski was a very questionable decision. I felt like a lot of us thought that Holloway was robbed in that second fight. So I really felt like those guys were one apiece going into their third fight. However, yeah, I will just say that seeing Ilia blast through guys like Volkanovski, who had absolutely beaten the brakes off of Holloway. I know that Holloway is a very technical boxer, but it's like these stylistic matchups. How is Ilia as an individual going to match up against Max Holloway? However, we don't know that. But this fight is becoming super likely and might happen 306. If that one article about Ilia being out of the fight comes more mainstream, then I guess we'll probably see it like UFC 307, 308, 309. But I'm actually very happy that it's not just reckless, that whole post about that I saw back in the day about them targeting it for the sphere wasn't necessarily the most reckless of rumors that could be thrown around in the MMA journalism sphere, which there's a lot of them out there. So you have to really choose what you bite whole of. However, I'm just looking forward to this fight go down. Now, when it happens, I don't know. We're going to have to wait to see how it goes on. But this is an eventuality. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this whole thing go down. But peace out. What are your thoughts? Who do you have winning? Do you think it's close? Do you think it's not close? Do you think we're going to see it at UFC 306? Or do you think we're going to see it down the line at like UFC 309? Because honestly, so far, it's not really, they haven't put the full cards out for UFC 306 yet. We still are looking at UFC 304 right now that we have to get to next week. So, time will tell all. And I guess I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.